It is Monday, 14th October. Good morning. This is Mervin Hanley with THG News Today right here on THG Network. Welcome. I trust that you had yourselves a wonderful weekend. The news this morning is powered by Carl & Sons Unique Bakery on the island of St. Martin with 3 locations at the St. Martin's Medical Center, on the Pontville, and in Cold Bay. If this is your first time joining us this morning, or if you have not already, we always ask that you subscribe to our network's channel so that you do not miss any information, news, updates, weather, what have you, especially around the Caribbean and in the diaspora. So, without any further ado, let's get right to the news. We begin this morning with news out of St. Martin. Member of Parliament Franklin Meyers raised concerns of the dwindling space in cemeteries, saying that existing cemeteries are between 85% and 90% full, and the government should get ahead of this looming major concern. He made the remarks during the debate on the draft amendment of the 2024 budget in the Central Committee of Parliament. One of the things that I think is a looming, I don't want to call it a threat, but a major concern. Our population is about 60,000. We have more than 13,000 persons that are over the age of 60 years old, and we have a major problem with our cemeteries, Myers said. Our cemeteries are, I would dare say, 85 to 90% filled. It's a looming problem, and we have to get ahead of it before it becomes a major crisis, because we will find ourselves in a position having to make the hard decisions. And there is a saying, which I would like to believe is a Frankie Myers saying: if you do not make the hard decisions when you have to, you will be forced to make them when you don't want to. United People's Party's MP Omar Otley also waiting on the issue, saying that this had been an existing concern since he had been in executive office. The cemetery, this has been a cry even from during his tenure to try and find more land space, because one thing that is inevitable is death, said Otley. These are things that I say we got to be very careful in what we are doing, because right now there is barely any space. Still on St. Martin with some sad and shocking news. 2 persons, a male and a female, lost their lives early Saturday morning when they crashed into a GEBE meter house on AT Illidge Road. The accident took place around 5 a.m. Saturday. Police have said, according to a press statement from the police, that they arrived on the scene just after 5 o'clock in the morning when they received several phone calls, and upon reaching the scene, which was in the vicinity of a large and well-known supermarket, police found the 2 lifeless victims lying beside the road, and a motorcycle was also next to the bodies. Police said the ambulance personnel attempted to aid the 2 victims, but to no avail. Shortly after, ambulance personnel indicated to the officers that both victims had passed away from the injuries received from the accident. Traffic department personnel were on the scene investigating this unfortunate incident. And it's a sad and, shocking time right now on the island of St. Martin over the deaths of these 2 people. I believe one of them worked for the public service government. So we here at THG, to the families, we say, accept our deepest condolences. We now move to news out of Martinique. At least 3 planes were diverted to nearby Guadeloupe as protesters forced the shutdown of the international airport on Thursday night on the French island of Martinique. Passengers had to be diverted to Guadeloupe, the local police said in a statement, adding that another 500 passengers who were supposed to board those flights were stuck on the island. The protesters, decrying a high cost of living on the island, overran the tarmac following rumors spread on social media about the imminent arrival of hundreds of French police officers by plane. According to a statement from a government official, this completely false information is at the origin of groupings and the invasion of the airport's runway. Last month, a group of special anti-riot police arrived from France to deal with the protests in the French Caribbean-speaking country, where violent protests erupted with gunfire, injuring at least 6 police officers and 1 civilian. The shutdown resulted in flights being backed up, and the airport's officials urged stranded passengers to contact the airlines for information after the facility resumed operations by mid-morning. Martinique has been gripped by bouts of protests over the high cost of living, estimated at 40%, that turned violent with at least 1 person killed as demonstrators set fire to a police station, cars and road barricades, and clashed with police officers. I guess the people in Martinique, they've been going through this for a while, hardships. They believe that the government has imposed a number of taxes on them, the cost of living sky high, and the people, they just can't take it anymore. And so they resorted to protests, and part of the protests led to violence. And well, I guess the French government, they will have to deal with that. Of course, I do not advocate violence at any time. I mean, protests, yes, of course, peaceful protests. But these are people in Martinique. They're saying enough is enough. We can't take it anymore. And we're not going to have these people sitting in their leather chairs in their posh offices making decisions that just creates hardship, that just continue to lie to the people and not doing anything to benefit the people of Martinique, but more so benefiting themselves, benefiting their pockets, benefiting their families, benefiting their friends. And the people just took matters into their own hands. And I'll leave it there for now. Let's continue with news out of Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has told the parliament that he did not know how long he had remained in politics, but that he had done his duty to the country. At the very end of his contribution to the budget debate, Dr. Rowley alluded to the parliamentary swan song, final performance or activity of a person's career, delivered by Maarten MP Franklin Meyers when he spoke last Monday. I am now in my 10th year as Prime Minister. I too may be a swan, Dr. Rowley told the House. But ladies and gentlemen, colleagues in this honorable House, as long as I could leave here having done the best for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, it doesn't matter when I leave, but I'll leave here with my head held high, he said. He also indicated to the House Speaker that it had been a pleasure working with her as Parliamentary Speaker. I don't know how much longer I will have in this Parliament, but I have done my duty. I have kept the course, I have run the race, and I look forward not for a pot of gold, but for my family at the end of this rainbow, he said. Dr. Rowley was first elected Prime Minister in 2015 and again in 2020. Dr. Rowley was first appointed to the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago as a senator in 1987 and was subsequently elected and re-elected for 9 consecutive parliamentary terms. And finally, in our news this morning, out of the British Virgin Islands and according to 284 News, the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports had issued a statement addressing a second allegation of sexual molestation against a male teacher at the BVI Scandal High School just weeks into the new school year. This follows a similar accusation that was made against another male teacher of the school at the beginning of the 2024-2025 school year. In a statement released last Thursday, the ministry expressed its concern over the latest allegation and reiterated its commitment to ensuring the safety of all students and staff. The Ministry of Education, Youth, Sports and Affairs was informed of a serious allegation made against a teacher. We want to emphasize our commitment to maintaining the highest standards of safety and integrity in our schools, the statement read. In response to the incident, the ministry confirmed that immediate measures have been implemented to safeguard the school environment. While specifics of the protective actions were not disclosed, the ministry reassured the public that it is cooperating with relevant authorities to address the situation. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force and the Social Development Department are leading the investigation into the allegations. The ministry noted that, given the ongoing investigation, no further details should be shared at this time. According to the statement, we appreciate the community's understanding as we prioritize a thorough and fair process, the statement concluded. This is the second such allegation involving a teacher of that said high school since the beginning of the school year. In response to the previous accusation, the ministry issued a statement affirming its awareness of the matter and outlining the involvement of the police and the Teaching Service Commission in the investigative process. As with the current case, measures were swiftly enacted to ensure the safety of the school community. As investigations continue, the community remains concerned about the safety of students at the island's largest high school. Parents and residents alike are awaiting further updates from authorities, hopeful that the necessary steps will be taken to prevent any future incidents of this nature. And that's in the BVI, and that's it for today. The news, of course, was powered by Carl & Sons Unique Bakery on the island of St. Martin. Do join me again tomorrow morning, God's willing, at 6 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time for a similar presentation. Have yourselves a wonderful day, everybody. My name is Mervin Hanley.
Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Martin for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are 2 locations, Colbay and on the Pondville. In Colbay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Pondville, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Colbay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you.
Nevis, satisfy your sweet tooth at Feaser's, the coziest spot in Charlestown, known for its mouth-watering ice cream and dal parade. We are open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in and sample our patties, sandwiches, air-fried wings with fries, hot dogs, rotis, and now our famous smoothies, in all flavors of course. And don't forget to try the famous bus-up shut and saltfish. It's Feaser's, located at the entrance to the Cotton Ginnery Mall in Charlestown, Nevis. They're also available by phone, so place your order by calling 1-869-665-2458. Don't ask about the rest, just try the best.